Kia ora. I'm Antonio, and this is going to be a VOD review of SS23 versus Rat King. This was a really intense set, and I only managed to catch the ending of it because I was in my set myself, but it was really awesome to watch. A quick note is I did do an hour-long breakdown earlier, but unfortunately the recording failed, so I'm just kind of doing it again. Which actually helps because that way I actually get to summarize a lot of the points and I don't blabble on, and you'll get a shorter video. So I'm gonna not skip through everything, but I am gonna go for it slightly faster. There'll be timestamps at the bottom for the games if you want to look at any specific games. And yeah, sweet, awesome. Okay, so firstly, give me just one moment. So here I have got two graphs that I want to look at before. So firstly, obviously, Ultimate Frame Data. I'm sure you've got access to this website, but I'm going to be looking at the aerial specifically and one specific, two ground moves, which will be F tilt and down tilt. Then right here, the second graph, which I'll also link at the bottom, this will be who Short Hop Rising Fair connects with. There's a lot of relevant matchups in Wellington where it does. So, as you can see, Donkey Kong, I mean, it's pretty much always going to hit. Samus, she oftentimes runs and does short hops. She doesn't have landing aerials, so rising forward air is really good. Bowser, of course, although I doubt you'll ever versus ICK. Peach, that's a big one, because she likes to float, and you can hit her during the float animation with the rising forward air. And various other characters. So I'll drop them down below. Now, even if a character says yes, there is something to keep in mind where characters like Roy, Crom, Marth and Lucina, they do run and squat during their animation, so short hop forward air isn't going to connect when they're dashing at you. Now, that's going to be really important because of the Samus matchup and how you have to play Samus. And this is going to be important contextualizing why I think you should do a certain option more, or certain options more. So let's get into game one. So, the three things I really, or a few things that I really want you to keep in mind is, firstly, try to pretty much always land with at least a forward air, if not a back air. And when you are doing these jumps, never, or at least sparingly, do it in place. The only time you should do it in place is in situations like ledge trapping, or if you really think that the opponent is only going to get hit by this specific move. By in place, I mean strictly straight down. And the reason I kind of say that is because I know that on box, drift is a little different, right? Because to go down on a controller, generally, you're going to bias at least one side or the other, which is beneficial. But on a box controller, which is linear, you'll just sink straight down, assuming you don't have any drift. And so, any remaining drift from a previous action. And so what we're gonna find in this VOD a lot is that I found your drift and your landing in neutral was really linear, which made the sort of whiff punishing a lot easier because you could tell where you were gonna land, roughly speaking. Another thing is that aside from where you were landing was more, choreographed, or not choreographed, but predictable. You weren't able to cover those landings oftentimes, and that's where I'm going to use forward air and back air as really important tools. We're going to look at empty hopping and when you should use it for neutral. We're going to look at bow and how you can use it for neutral. I know that Declan criticized it last night. I actually think it's a pretty good tool, and we'll explore why. And I think I started to really appreciate why it's a good tool when I started talking about it. Let's see. We'll go lightly over neutral fairy, and we'll go over the neutral triangle. I'm not sure if I've spoken about that before, but we'll cover that with, poking and stuff. I won't look too much into advantage state because, honestly, I kind of trust your advantage state, at least at the level it's at now. And there will be some comments that I think you could apply, but nonetheless. And one specific part of disadvantage state, which I'll call out. Another thing is, again, if I see any side Bs, like in neutral, just kind of assume that I'll tell you not to do them. Just because in the end, I think side B's use case in the matchups should either be strictly as a tick chasing tool, as a combo extender of up B, as a recovery mix-up, or as a ledge hang punish. Because I think in neutral it's actually particularly weak. So yeah, going into this, let's explore. So in the matchup, zoners frequently, one thing that ICK really likes to think about it is that eventually they'll have to corner themselves, right? So immediately, like 11 seconds into the game, he's already cornered himself, right? So this means that as Byleth, you already have a forward air that covers the corner really well. And this is another thing, directly talking about the first two concepts that I was talking about. So he's in the corner, you get a nice down smash on a roll read. He goes back to the corner, jumps onto the ledge, and right here you're kind of dashing in and out. And I respect this dash in and out because, you know, oftentimes people burst out of the corner, so you're trying to cover a dash attack, or you're trying to cover a dash grab, right? This is Samus's weakest spot by far. Mainly because of her outer shield options being bad, to be here. Except for up B, of course, but that's like an anomaly. So I really respect this dash back. That's a really nice dash back. You're waiting for them, you're baiting them into like a bad option. But here, when you do the full hop, you land straight down, right? Now you did buffer a forward air, which was good. I do like that. Let's see where you buffered it. Not buffered, like, you know, used a forward air. Okay, so fastfall mechanics in this game, just to reiterate over them, if you do a fastfall and then an aerial, you cancel your fastfall. If you do an aerial and then a fastfall, you keep the fastfall momentum. Here, you did fastfall aerial. So, let's see. Okay, so it was just before, I think, let's just look at the frame data. It was still in the pull, so when... So it should be... It is frame 12. Okay, yeah, okay. So what you could have done... so if you... Yeah, okay, I understand what happened. At this height, the height that you did the fastfall forward air on, you did it at a height where doing forward air fastfall would only hit around here. And so looking at this quick VOD that I just found,
We're gonna kick it off
we have a match between, well, it doesn't matter, but here is Umkelo playing Byleth, so right over here. Now this is a double jump, of course, but as you can see here, he does a aerial, and then he does the fastball. And this way, the fastball can be started really early and still land around here, right? So let's count back the frames here real quick. So it is a frame 12 aerial, if I remember correctly. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's probably some frames cut there, but it is 12. It hits here, basically, right? Now, let's look at where your spacing was. So, I'm going to slow it down. Okay, that's probably around frame 4? $12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, so probably around 8 or so. Okay, and then you were... Oh, so actually you were still pulling back, so... Yeah, so it's probably around here. And we can see here that the pullback started really late in the animation, so I'll just speed it up. Oh, fuck me. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, the animation didn't start until a little bit of here. Now, you could argue that's actually a pretty good mix-up. I'm not sure if you were intentionally going for it, but I would say that in generally speaking, you want to do the aerial and then the fast fall later, because you block off the space the fastest possible, and you can start the aerial from the highest possible position. And I believe that if you did that here, you would have been able to hit him preemptively. But yeah, and we're gonna look at more things like that. So both that was the position being slightly off and the aerial being slightly off, because you were kind of just sinking straight down, right? That being said, if you were drifting back, you might have gotten caught as well, to be honest. Drift out. You did dodge the nair, which is cool, but I think you should have just gone for a forward air, because the burst options for Samus aren't really going to cover that sort of option. You know, it's not like a fox who's going to run under you just like that. So with her limited mobility, I would say that landing with a forward air here, when the opponent is in the corner, is almost always valuable. And I would say in general, never look for in-place nairs, because in-place nairs kind of work on the expectation that the opponent's going to run into you, right? And that works against you more often than not, because if the opponent runs underneath you and just shields, you eat a shield grab. They could even look for a parry. That's a really common punish. And it makes you really susceptible to an air-to-air. Since you're not moving, you're in place. Unless the opponent does like an in-place forward air as well, or a drift back forward air, you're going to get punished by a forward air running at you, or an in-place forward air that was just positioned to punish you. So if you're going to do a full hop air like this, commit to one of two drifts at least, unless you've got the mix up there. Because if you do go with a forward drift, you at least open up the window of them shielding here and you getting a cross up. Your nair is -9, so it's really hard to punish, especially with like the level of what do you call it, pancaking that you get. And if they get a parry, I mean, you kind of have to eat that. Otherwise, I would say land with a forward air here. And he did do near fast fall, which I like. I like your control over forward airs. I like this up B, side B confirm as well. That's what I liked when I was first looking at the VOD. I'm just gonna kind of speed through this VOD. Empty hopping again. Now granted, obviously they're gonna keep charging, to be fair. But in general, I think it's good practice. Like right here, you could have fast fall forward aired. Granted they whiffed and got the dash tag. But I think the principle still kind of stands of, you should kind of always look to wall out the opponent as Byleth. Forward throw there, by the way. What happened there? Sorry, let me just refresh so we don't have... There you go, okay. So... You got them, you were trying to hit an air smash, you back through them. You had something here. Ah, here it was. Yeah, okay. So it was after the back throw. Was that also a fast fall forward air? Okay, so that was a rising forward air. And then you tried to fast fall. And you were trying to juggle. Could you have preemptively covered the juggle earlier? So I know that Byleth on full hop does not reach platforms here. Or at least... I believe she doesn't. She does, you can correct me on that. You know what? I think full hop delayed back air was best here. Because back air lasts a lot of frames. Look here. That is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19, 18. That's 5 frames, sorry. My brain was fuzzy. So that's 5 frames of... Is that 5? No, that's... Yes, that is 5 frames. I'm silly. Okay, yeah. So that's 5 frames of hitting. If you did a full hop back air here, and then fast fell it, you would have caught them landing on the ground with that landing lag. After the fast fall, probably. But moreover, I think the up air was there. But I like the anticipation look for it. Another thing you could do is... do short hop forward air if you think they're going to land on you. Because if you're kind of attacking them where they are, you're going to attack them where they used to be, right? So the short hop forward air is a good call out to try pressure them, especially because if they landed on the platform, they got a free punish on you. So try hit them, I mean, that's just a general tip, but hitting them where they are. So firstly, focusing on your opponent. I know that's a big thing that I forget to tell people, but hitting them where they're going to be is a lot more important than hitting them where they are. Because with Ultimate's delay and everyone's average reaction time, when something's happened, when something happens, it's already happened, you know? So if you reacted them to being up here, just punish them being here. Again, with the neutral momentum, I'd like to see a little bit more forward momentum here, because that means that you travel with the hitbox, making it harder for them to punish. Another thing is you full hop, empty hop a bit too much, and the problem with that, like that could have been very thin, the problem with that is that it's not, an empty hop mix-up is only strong if the opponent expects an approaching forward air or an approaching back air to wall, right? Empty hop, full hop empty hops are really strong when the opponent knows that they're going to happen or tries to react to them happening with a whiff punish, right? So, like there, right? The empty hops don't really do a lot because the opponent's not scared of you landing with a forward air. There's no real risk to landing with a forward air as Byleth. Right there, was that also another side note? I think that was forward air fastball. But, sorry, fastball forward air. But yeah, so there's no real inherent risk throwing out a forward air at certain ranges with Byleth. There was no fastball on that. Always try to do fastball forward air so you land on the ground earlier, because then you have less lag. And doing this full hop, like, it doesn't do a lot, you know, especially if you're going to do a neutral momentum here. Like, you're not even approaching, you're not, like, disengaging. You're kind of just giving the opponent time to react or sort something out. So you did approach with that one, but then again, it was an empty hop, and you didn't get a whole lot of value out of it. If it was a forward air, they wouldn't have been able to punish you there. So I think you should try approach with landing forward airs more, and especially making sure that you're landing the forward air just before you land. I like to train this up by putting a dummy in training mode to set percent and just repeatedly trying to hit them with forward air. One trick you can do is, this is what I did when I mained Isabel, is you use Pikachu and you set him to crouch. So like you put a rubber band on like a second controller and you just practice hitting the dummy really low. When you get good at that, you try look for the lowest possible character you can do it on. For Isabel, it was Kirby. I don't know what it'll be for Byleth. And it's also important to train this on both characters. And it's also important to not just train it on a standing jump. Make sure you're doing it on moving jumps, full hop jumps, short hop jumps, even like slingshot jumps, right? And slingshot full hop jumps, slingshot short hop jumps. It's really valuable to learn these strategies because that's your bread and butter as Byleth in the neutral. You want to throw out forward airs, and you want to be able to punish them running into them and punish them running away from them by getting center stage. Alright, so continuing on, he does a mistaking up throw, the back air landing. Yeah, we can probably skip over a bit of this. Forward air, you get into this disadvantage, you do the up B, yep. Okay, so you're kind of just in disadvantage here. Side B, yep, again with these full hops. I mean, this was nice movement, actually. And those are when full hops are really good. But again, I think you could have done those movements and thrown out a forward air, and it would have been pretty much the same. Yep. Again, that forward air right there. So it was rising, which is actually pretty nice in the matchup, and I did point out before. But you did delay it, which makes me think that you tried to go for a landing forward air instead. And there was no fast fall there, so... Oh, there was a fast fall after the fact, actually. Yeah, and you suffered a little bit more lag had they shielded, right? Let me just look at it closer. So, you get hit by a charge shot on shield, block it, then you do forward air. You don't fast fall until the last quarter of it. Yeah, I think if try hit it this way, Because not only is it safer, but I think you would have gotten just that extra bit of range to maybe hit their foot. Or if they shielded, pressure their shield. Granted, you got the dash attack. Good reacting. Another thing I'd like to see you do is, if you want to find a spot for doing these short hop and full hop in place back airs and forward airs, is do them in ledge traps. Right here, you can start throwing. I mean, you know, you want to pressure your opponent by like faking a jump off or something like that, right? Right here, you could have done a forward air. But right here, when you're in these positions, you can throw out forward airs and back airs. In fact, I would throw out a lot of back airs here, because back air is the best tool you have to punish not only drop ledges, and by best tool, I mean like the fastest tool you have, to punish drop ledges, jumps, and neutral get-ups on shield, as well as get-up attacks. And it also punishes rolls, because then you're in the position to grab them on roll. Obviously, F smash is a higher reward, but back air is a lower risk, and at this percent, where he's at 117%, it's more worth it going for the back air, since both of them are going to kill anyway, right? Maybe not the late hit, of course, but even if you hit the late hit, you'll put them in an edge guard, and if you hit the sweet hit, they're dead. And, you hit the F smash. You know what? Maybe I am a kooky motherfucker, you know? But I hope you see that in either way, you would have been able to... Also, you could have gotten an F tilt here, but I'm surprised you could punish this. But, yeah, you would have hit the back air there. And to be fair, this is probably the best option here. Aside from maybe up smash. So good work. But yeah, I hope you do see the value of throwing out back airs in neutral place. Alright, Ledge. Another small critique I'll have is I think runoff Nair is kind of bad. I'm not a fan of it. I think that neutral air kind of gets outscaled by down air in terms of worth, because in the end, unless you're really high percent, neutral air kind of like neutral air off stage kind of results in the same thing of both you either get even advantage, you either even it up, as in like you just get put in an even situation, or you are in disadvantage. And if you're gonna put yourself in disadvantage, you might as well throw out the down air, in my opinion. But we'll see. I mean, that hasn't even happened, but you know. Nice bread and butter. Air smash, yeah. Burned your double jump, and when you burn your double jump, you might as well land with an aerial, because otherwise you're going to lose all your resources. And I think you should land with a forward air. Air smash. I like the Roland, actually. Roland's kind of underrated. Forward air or back air smash would have caught that out. He got you with that. Got you with that. Okay, that's unfortunate. I'm sure you knew what happened, but yeah. Dash attack, I like that. You could have also gone for forward air here. I think on floaties, you should look for near forward air, because it keeps your dash attack fresh. And it's also just a pretty good confirm. Nice call out on the air dodge. And right here, this is where you can do run a forward air. And I think run a forward air is really good. Another confirm I'd like to see you do is near into forward air. Off of ledge, because it's actually really valuable. And you can just set it up as a ledge trap. If you stand here, shield, predict them either jumping or react to them neutral get-upping / get-up attacking, you can go for a nair into a fast full nair quake, into a run-off ledge forward air, and I think it's really good. It kills at like 50. And you'll see MK Leo go for it a lot. He might even be able to do it into side B, but I don't know about that. I like you covering the ledge with that side beam. That was good. Go for the smash. I think F tilt there is a little bit better, because it is faster. F tilt is a really good tool. You can actually put yourself in positions where you're really safe and unable to be shield grabbed. Not in this matchup, because her shield grab is really long. But in then matchups like Incineroar and I don't know, Snake, Pikachu, whatever, you can put yourself, Roy, you can put yourself in positions with the F tilt that you just can't get punished. Yeah, okay, so there's not a lot of commentary I can make on this match specifically, except nice F tilt usage, just because I think Rat King was just playing a bit better here, just in this isolated match. A bit too many side Bs. I mean, that's all I'll say, is I'm not a fan of side B. I think it should be strictly left to either advantage state, disadvantage state, or punishing ledge hang, and that's also part of advantage state. I think also you could be using a bit more up smash. Remember that up smash reaches platforms, and it is really good at catching people's landings. So I would suggest use that, especially versus characters with vulnerable landings. That being said, Samus does have tools to make her landing a bit more ambiguous. You could be going off for forward airs right now to pressure him instead of just kind of standing at the ledge, or if you want to be safer, you could have just thrown out back airs at the ledge here. I like that you went for the forward air there, because that would punish a run back. Unfortunately, you didn't get the punish. And then right over here, I think he ends it somehow. I think it was in up smash or dash attack. You do have to be wary of dash attack in matchups where dash attack matters. Some of the more relevant ones in Wellington are Terry, Samus, Incineroar dash attack can also kill. So be on the lookout for those ones. Like, a strategy you could do is holding down, but I'd just say kind of play around it and play around the max range. He up throws a little bit too early, and then gets wolf back, yeah. Alright, lovely. Going into this match, same sort of deal, I think, as before. Like, right there, could have landed a forward air, or even Nair. I think Nair would have been maybe slightly better. And in general, we're going to talk about empty hops a lot as well, so hopefully the situation comes up, but you could be using short hops more, and I think just right there, throw out an aerial, throw out the forward air. I think one of the biggest takeaways is, I know you did a rising forward air there, but I think one of the biggest takeaways is doing landing forward airs and practicing hitting them at the lowest possible point. There is also a case to be made of doing a little bit more short hop Nair, because I think you could be using it a bit more. The reason why is because if you do a short hop Nair against someone, you can cross them up and then fast fall and then still make it safe. Obviously, in this matchup, he's got a frame 4 out of shield, so he might just up be out of shield you. But in most matchups, if you do get the cross up, you're not going to eat a whole lot. Like, it is -9, but unless someone has an aerial that is, you know, at least frame 5, well, actually frame 6, or faster, you should be all good. Especially because you can space it out, and even if they do have like a frame 4 aerial, you should be fine. Sorry, I skipped a little bit here. Let's just check over it. So you didn't get the punish there, the up smash, forward smash. A few more whiffs, again with the fast fall. I think it's just a little bit too linear, you know, like no one's ever going to be in that sort of zone, and that might be a flaw of using box, because I know it might be harder to use drift, but I think try to kind of aim your aerials and your landings towards opponents or away from opponents when you need it. Very rarely do you want to just keep it neutral, you know what I mean? I don't know how you would apply that with box, because it's really easy on controllers because people kind of do it naturally. I like that up B. But yeah, the one-time up smash works. Throwing out down B's there, throwing out the side B there. Trying to land here. Empty hop, empty hop, empty hop. Again, the forward air. Empty hop, and all of these have been full hops. So he knows that you're going to go for a full hop, right? So right now he's going to play his game around anti-airing you. And that, especially versus better players, is going to get really savage. Like, I imagine in your set versus Lucina, he was catching your full hops and air-to-airing you with forward air. That being said, this is a Zona matchup, but the same principles still do apply. Try to mix up between the full hop and short hop. And Bo has just come up, and I'm going to look at it specifically in Game 5, because I think that's when the strongest case I can make for it is. Found an F smash. Trying to find an F smash here. I think the reward is a little bit worse for you using F smash here, especially when you're at high percent, because if you do throw out F smashes at high percents, from what I found, it's like minus 30 for her forward smash. So that's when you want to start also considering using landing back is and landing forward is as well. Yeah, that could have been a grab. So when you do go for an empty hop, there's two options for you. This is based on the assumption that you've done full hop forward airs, right? You could do a grab to punish people trying to react to the forward air with an out of shield, which is very common on Samus because she's got a frame 4 out of shield, and Link especially. Like Widdishin will do an up B there, but the other option you have is doing like an F tilt or a down tilt. F tilt will also auto space you. If a move can auto space you, that's also really good to use out of a empty hop. But that also means that you are punishing mash, as in like a preemptive out of shield. So that could work on people just trying to nair you out of shield, trying to get a hit, seeing that you've landed in front of them and trying to shield grab you. That's when you kind of want to throw out a forward tilt or like a jab even. Jab is really good in this scenario. Alright. Nice roll read. Unfortunately the back lagged a bit. Let's get up attack. I'd like to see you do more nair grab. I think that's a really good combo at low percent. I like that you're trying to cover the center with up air. That's really nice. Tried to get an extension off the side B actually extended by the charge shot. That's very interesting. Could have gone for a grab there, but unfortunately weren't able to double the roll in time. The dash attack hits. That could have been a forward air there, but I feel like you're probably looking for the up B, which I guess would have worked as well. I usually opt for forward air because I'm worse at hitting the up Bs. That was a better spaced forward air actually. Yeah, so actually that was this is a really good example of the forward airs you should always be doing. Not saying you should always do a full hop forward air, but the range at which you should be hitting the forward air. Now, I think it was still about a frame or two off, but as long as you're getting this sort of landing forward air, like there, that's really good. Again, the empty hops aren't doing a lot. Right there, if you did want to punish that, you would have... you can do empty hop shield to punish attacks like that, and that would have been really strong getting a nair out of there. But the general rule of thumb is you don't want to do like free back-to-back empty hops, because most of the time after the second empty hop, people are going to expect you to do like a third empty hop, which you could punish by doing a landing forward air. But I'd drift back if you tried to do that, because there's a high chance that they've already committed to you punishing the jump, because they've seen you and they're able to react to the first two and punish the third. So if you do want to bait them out like that, you can do a jump back. Yeah, a bit too much full hops. Yeah, in general, I think you should use short hop a little bit more. I feel like you're too much in the full hop range, which makes you a little bit more linear when you're playing. And then hits you with a dash attack. Okay. Up air, up B. Fast falls. You get the side B there. Tried to get a dash shake there. Unfortunately, weren't able to get it against an F tilt. Tried to get the call out on the back here with the F smash. Isn't able to get it. Charge shot, dash attack's gonna get you to 78%. You try landing with side B a lot. I feel like forward airs would have been a lot more valuable here. That being said, you're still back, and I remember you won this game. So yeah, right there, I mean, I guess that's a use case for Nair. Most people know that you're not going to get a tick situation here, so they'll retain their jump. But actually, I think he had his jump, he just flubbed it a little bit, didn't he? Unless you took out his jump earlier. Oh yeah, he did use jump. But yeah, most people will recognize that they can just mash up B and be safe. That's why I think down is just a little bit better, because if you're gonna put yourself in a worse position, like at best case, even worst case losing, you might as well use Dare. Because it's not bad, you know, it's good to call out lazy recoveries, but I feel like Nair doesn't really give you a whole lot. There is a case to be made about jumping Nair, that way you can be in a better position, but even then. Nice punish, I like that. You're very good at hitting the up Bs. I'm not. Nice up B. I'd like to see you land with a spaced Nair more on shield and then punish them into F tilt, because landing Nair at a spaced distance or landing forward air at a spaced distance is really safe. So doing landing aerials into F tilts is almost unpunishable for a lot of characters, unless they've got a really fast grab that goes really long, you know, which I don't think any character has to the point where they can punish a Byleth doing a landing forward air into F tilt or landing Nair into F tilt. Maybe landing Nair into F tilt, but definitely not landing forward air into F tilt. Game 5, this is when I want to start talking about Bowen more. Again, so full hop, he's just going to call out the empty hop. If you did forward air on either of them, I think it would have been more beneficial for you, although I did like seeing you do a short hop. Down for a forward air. Down for a Nair, I think here. You just need to do the Nair fast, but it's really good. I'd like to see more short hop Nair, especially to contest and air to air. Short hop Nair is really good, because if you just hit them with a full hit and then land, you can still get like either an up B or a forward air. You can get really creative with Nair, especially the last hit. Like you can do double jump Nair, and then combo that into a rising forward air. I mean, she is honestly a combo character to a small degree. Okay, so you got okay, so when you are in these positions where you're just gonna die off of the next juggle, this is when you want to burn your resources the most. So if you did a double jump, and that would open you up to fast fall, which would give you option to do a fast fall air dodge. That's pretty much the Hail Mary of most fast faller matchups, is that's the one option you want to save, because that's the one option that works the best. But it is highly punishable, to be fair. Here it was. There you go. Okay, got the extension off of you, racking up percent. Did get the F tilt on the reversal there. Tried to go for a side beat there. F tilt, I saw it loaded there. I feel like you could be getting some nairs here, especially short hop nairs. You're not really covering that space right now, and he's kind of getting a lot of leverage off of that. Landing near a forward air right there. I like that you're using F tilt. I think F tilt's a really good tool. Could be using more down tilt, but down tilt, you know, it covers a specific range, and I don't think that's the range that you probably would use against Samus too here. I like the back there. Okay, here we go. So, the reason why bow's good isn't because you can, you know, hit it. That's actually probably the worst part about bow. It's that, you know, it's really easy to dodge, right? Or it's really easy to react to it. But the thing is that it's really easy to react to the bow draw, but you can't react to the bow being thrown out. Sorry, the arrow being thrown out, or the bow draw being cancelled, right? So right here, you draw your bow, everyone here is gonna shield, right? Light racking. Now look at the next bow. He's gonna shield, right? You can use this to your advantage by closing the gap and making it a mix-up, right? So jump here, he shields, right? And he still loses, because that means he isn't giving his shield regeneration, and it's still gonna get lower, right? This bow shot, like, obviously it'll probably shield break, but then this is when he just starts jumping, right? So you could have kept slowly closing the gap with neutral B. And in general, this is why neutral B works so well in a lot of matchups where you want to mix up the opponent mix up the opponent in the corner, right? If you do neutral B, it scares them into doing a option, right? So they either want to jump, in which you can catch them with a forward air, or they want to shield, in which you can cancel it into maybe another redraw, or cancel it into a fast forward air, or even cancel it into a grab, if you want to. Further, if you do the bow draw, you could punish aggression by them dash attacking on your shield, and then you do an up smash out of shield, right? The best thing about bow is that sort of ambiguity, right? And I think that's how you should use it more in more matchups. That being said, it can be strictly bad in some matchups. Those matchups being crawl matchups, or just matchups where, I don't know if anyone can, but if anyone can just run underneath the bow, that's bad. In ZSS and Snake, they're just going to crawl under it, so whenever you use it, you're pretty much just wasting your time. So yeah. And I'm going to just start skipping around this VOD, because this was the last one. But, yeah, so this was very funny as well. I can't believe the Chad shot killed. Oh, I guess I can. It's 140. But I also can't believe that he died of it. That's very funny. Yeah, okay, so so I think the fundamentals here that we're going to take away, if you take away anything from here, it's, try to both land with forward air low and land with forward air while moving, right? Just like that retreating back air you just got, try do that more. And also implement a little bit more short hop. I feel like your jumps are getting a little bit too predictable with full hop. It's completely fine to use the macro, like, just do the short hop macro, it's really easy. If you want to practice this, do, like, backwards and forwards, try hit it on, like, a set damage Pikachu, that way you're hitting it as low as possible. And use bow to bait out approaches, and then shield cancel to kind of just slowly make that approach. And if people get used to shield canceling, you can do this, where you actually just hit them. Another thing I'd like to see you do is using a bit more short hop Nair Quake into dash attacks. I feel like you usually get the Nair Quake out of a full hop, and Nair Quake in the ledge here, very useful. You could combo that into run off forward air. And also, I'd like to see you doing just mashing forward airs and back airs on the ledge, because that's also very, very good. But yeah, so if there's anything you'd like me to clarify, that's all I have for now. And very well played today. Your set versus Dalbob was really intense. I watched it. Really close. Good stuff. And you're doing really well, man. Keep it up.